We've got a lot of things to cover today, including how you can win something of value from me. Let's talk about it. Welcome everyone, Mark here from Uber Hints, and I've got a lot to cover today, so I am going to be talking fast, faster than usual. And we're going to start things off by taking a look at the new year, the year as it ends, and how it rolls in. No, this is not a reflective piece. I'm not going to be looking back at the year past, although that's not a bad idea. Maybe you'll see that the first week or two of the new year. No, instead what we're going to do is look forward. And one of the things I want to put forth and address is, how are you going to drive New Year's Eve? Or are you going to drive New Year's Eve? It is a profitable night, maybe one of the most profitable of the entire year. Now I can tell you I'm going to be cutting back on my profits a little bit, but I have a reason for it. The way I'm going to drive this year is very limiting. I am going to limit my drives, at least it's my plan right now, to before New Year's. In other words, before 12 o'clock midnight. I'm going to try to get all of my rides in taking people to the bars, to the parties, rather than away from them. The main reason is, in the past, I've had some pretty, disgusting drives on New Year's Eve. I've had ugly things. You may remember 2 years ago I had that guy get in my car that was just beat to a pulp. I just don't want to experience all of the things that happen after midnight. So when people are heading to the parties, they're happy, they have excitement and expectation, and that is when I want to be working. So I think starting around 7 p.m., I'm going to drive 7 till probably 11. I think by 11 o'clock, most of the people are going to be already in. I know that 12:30, 1 o'clock, from there until about 3, things are really busy, but people are drunk. I don't want people vomiting on my car. I don't want fights. I don't want arguments. So that's going to be the way that I drive this year. Maybe. I say that's what I'm going to do now, and who knows, New Year's Eve I might be full of excitement and energy, and I might decide to go out and take a few rides. I did have a few fun ones last year. I didn't get right into the downtown. I stayed on the outskirts where a lot of restaurants and clubs, VFWs, that type of thing, were having their celebrations, and a lot of them tended to be older people. When I say older, I'm not talking about 80. I'm talking about people, 40s, 50s, and older. And they seem to be a little calmer and not quite as wound up, not quite as prone to getting sick in my car and starting fights and arguments. So if I do go out after midnight, that's probably going to be the direction I take. So how about you? What are your plans? I'd like to hear them down below. I do want to talk about the contest. I have a contest where you're going to win something, but first I'm going to mix things up a little bit, and I want to talk about a couple of my reviews, comments from past videos. I have a couple of them here. The first one is kind of interesting. It comes to us from Chris O. Mark, why are you wasting your time trying to explain yourself by answering comments? You are way too nice. If the comment from the viewer doesn't make sense, then ignore it. I don't know if it has to do with being nice. I think I like this interaction. I think that's what far too many YouTube channels are missing. They're missing the interaction, and I know that is what a lot of the live streams are all about. Live streams for me are too hard to keep up, and we get sidetracked. And so I just enjoy it. I don't think it's about explaining myself, although a lot of times I do clarify, but I think it's about engaging and interacting. From the Uber Killer Fleas US, I have a comment. Mark, you're so right. I was watching one YouTuber who was so confrontational. I will not disclose his identity. I think we have some suspicions. But I wish he learns from this video. Those guys don't watch my videos. I believe each driver should learn how to de-escalate a conflict as drivers, we are more exposed than anyone else. And as we come upon New Year's Eve, I think this is vitally important. Let's try to stay out of conflicts. Let's not let our emotions overtake us. Let's all be safe as we head into 2019. Saw the video. It wasn't a roundhouse kick. It was just a traditional kick. Yeah, tomato, tomato. I'm not a martial arts expert. I know that it was a vicious attack. So, drug dealing drivers desire. That was our next video. I thought that was a pretty clever title. I went with all the D's, right? Drug dealing drivers desire. Drop deliver can't be the safest thing to do, seeing as it's still a federal crime. Interesting. Even if marijuana is legal in some states, it's still a federal crime. So the feds, if they want to, I guess, can come down on us, right? Still a federal crime. That's a problem. All should be worried about. I don't know if they should be worried, but have an awareness. Trafficking charges will, it says Hannah, I don't know if I copied something wrong, but trafficking charges can still be handed down. And it says from a DEA agent friend. San Francisco, home of millionaires, billionaires, and homeless defecating on the sidewalks. Lovely. And that came from my story about Uber now creating with the IPO a new class of millionaires. And that original story that came from was kind of the point, that these companies that claim to be champions of the downtrodden really create they create space between the classes, right? They create one upper class and then one really, really, really low class. And it wasn't so much just Uber doing that, but just the city of San Francisco. That's kind of how it exists. And that's kind of where the article went. I didn't want to go there because it didn't really relate too much to what I was discussing. The next one from Drug Dealing Drivers Desired. Doobie doobie doo. Merry Christmas, Mark, and Happy New Year. Doobie 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 doo. And of course, that was a play on words for marijuana doobie, right? For how do I say this? A joint, a marijuana cigarette, all right? Good on you, sir. How you propagate for Uber drivers being able to conceal carry by Uber policy to protect themselves against the same type of people abusing the service and unsuspecting drivers. Oh, can't do that. It's anti-liberal. Well, I don't want to try to slip in political messages here. Should you conceal carry? I'm not going to get into that in this video. We all have to do what we have to do to keep ourselves safe. And let's face it, the only time that you would be called upon to address that is once you're concealed is no longer concealed. By that time, I assume you're protecting yourself and the jig is up anyway. So what are we going to do now about this contest? It's contest time. As I said, things have been dragging down. We've been talking about some vicious, sad, kind of depressing things toward the end of the year. So I want to change that. I want to start 2019 on a high note. So here's our contest. I'm going to ask you to leave comments down below with interesting, fun, uplifting stories. They could be funny, they could be embarrassing things, they could be interesting things that happened to you. But I want to get away for at least a day from all the doom and gloom. So I think what I want you to do, if you have a fun, interesting story, leave it below, but I want the first word to be contest. And if I see the word contest, I know what follows is going to be your fun story. I'm going to pick the top 3. And then, I think on New Year's Day, so we'll have this go last 2 days. On New Year's Day, I will read the 3 that I think are most interesting, and I'll let all of you vote. And the winner is going to win from me a $20 gift card. I was first wondering, should I make this from McDonald's? Should I make this from, a gas card? Should I make this something from Starbucks? And I decided I'll just go with something more universal, like a Visa gift card. That way you can spend it however you'd like. If you just saw a glitch, if you just saw what looked like a real abrupt cut, is because my battery just died. So in order to change a battery, I have to take my camera off the tripod because the battery is accessible from underneath. Now you might say, Mark, why don't you plug your camera in when you're doing these recordings? Because I record on a Canon G7X and it does not have an ability to have an external power source while recording. So there. So anyway, the contest is a fun, uplifting, it doesn't have to be, you know, a motivational thing, but just fun, lighthearted, just something that is going to get us off on the right foot for 2019. And we will say, today is Saturday, so let's say noon on Monday. So that will be the 31st, is that right? I hope I'm right. Whatever date Monday is, but I think Monday is the 31st, right? So noon Central Standard Time. We're in Standard Time, we're in Daylight Time. Whatever time it is, we're in right now in December. Noon on Monday, December 31st is when this is going to be in. So that will be 11 o'clock Eastern. No, it won't. It'll be 1 o'clock Eastern, right? Noon Central, 11 Mountain, and 10 Pacific, and whatever other part of the world you're in, you're just going to have to do the math. Because I know there are some places, like when I'm in Newfoundland, it's like a half hour off, which I've never understood. That is crazy, crazy time zone there. Maybe someone from Canada can jump in and explain that one to me. So anyways, that brings this one to a close. I would love to hear your comments down below. Remember, if your comment is to enter the contest, start it with the word contest and then tell your story. As always, I encourage you to leave comments. Please like and share the videos. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm Mark from Uber Hints.